Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host here, Ariel. And in today's episode, we will be discussing the signs of the times. Once again, stop you crying, it's a sign of the times. But in this particular episode, we will be discussing another tentacle of the signs of the times, which is the progression towards the New World Order, or what the WHO likes to call it, the Great Reset. We know that the events that occurred in 2020 has thrusted our world into a new way of living and has been in the works for 40 plus years, if not more. We experienced lockdowns, food shortages, inflation, laws that has been passed that has changed the whole infrastructure of the world. This video is a part of the Signs of the Times series dedicated to just showing a couple of examples that TikTok creators have produced over the time. The Bible calls the church the salt of the earth for a reason. Because of the church and because of the belief systems that the early church had, a lot of times it was put into place to save the world from its own destruction. If we allow our flesh to have full range over us, then we will be living in a world full of destructive things that a society cannot stand on. And if you notice, in today's society, the church is being attacked. They are allowing things into the church that was never allowed ever before until now.
The Episcopal Church just voted that access to gender-affirming care is a matter of religious liberty. This is huge. Constitutional arguments around religious liberty have been gaining ground in recent years. Although there have been smaller churches formed around protecting LGBTQ rights, the Episcopal Church is a large denomination. Here's a video of them taking the voice vote.
So many states acting to obstruct the rights of gender-affirming care, especially of children, of changing laws, of even criminalizing what parents can do with respect to supporting their children in gender-affirming care.
Thank you, Bishop. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, no. So ordered.
The Episcopal Church has been openly supportive of LGBTQ people for a long time now, and some of the first trans priests were part of the Episcopal Church. It remains to be seen if this will have protective value for trans Episcopalians, but this is an absolutely positive development.
This is Isaac. The Methodist Church has ordained their first drag queen to preach in their churches, and listen to what Isaac has to say in one of his sermons.
We are here to learn and to grow and to deconstruct and to reimagine what church can be, who church can be for, and how church can feel together. It can be a place unafraid to denounce queerphobia, a place unafraid to name the sin of racism, and to call for an end to.
Notice he has trouble even speaking right there. The church does not need to deconstruct. Jesus has built the church, and the Bible says the gates of hell shall not prevail against the church. What do you think about this? Let me know down below in the comments.
Witness the Beyonce Mass, bringing together secular music and a religious message to tell a story of empowerment for particularly women of color, but for anyone who happens to sing praises to the goddess herself, Beyonce.
God actually loves you.
What can you tell me about the progressive nature of Grace Cathedral?
I think a lot of the people who show up tonight are people of color, LGBT people, people on whom other people's narratives have been projected. And I mean, just to be honest, the church hasn't been the best about lifting up those voices. It really began as us saying, how can we actually be the people of God that we hope to be in the world?
And Beyonce is the perfect passage to get that message out there.
Honestly, I think Beyonce is a better theologian than many of the pastors and priests in our church today. That is not an exaggeration.
The drummer who claimed she was put under
told you it was a tragedy.
End times prophecy is happening now, and I've got another update for you guys. The One World Religion is set to open this year. I told y'all about this last year. This collaboration is being done with Pope Francis and Sunni Muslim leaders. Here, it's going to be illegal for Christians to spread the gospel. That's what proselytize means, to anyone who's Islamic. Christians are free to convert to Islam, but citizens of Abu Dhabi are not free to choose Christ. The One World Religion will have 3 headquarters, one building representing the mosque, the church, and the synagogue, but the church cannot have a cross on the building because crosses are illegal. And any Muslims who want to convert from Islam to Christianity should be killed. If your jaw hasn't dropped yet, in December 2020, the United Nations passed an anti-blasphemy law that most Christians are unaware of. This prohibits any teachings against Islam, including biblical teachings which could be considered offensive. Though usually not enforced, teaching that Jesus is the only God could land you in prison. Wow. Okay, end times are here. We're definitely not in the beginning, okay? It's about to go down. Pray. Fast. Pursue righteousness, man. Seek a relationship with God. That's your only hope. That's your only hope, because you're going to die. Whether it's of natural causes or they kill you or it just ends. You have to prepare for the afterlife. And there's only one currency, bro. It's called love. His name's Jesus. That's why they're trying to outlaw him. Evil is consuming the world. And it's trying to get rid of good. And that's God. That's the one true God. I love you guys. God bless you. I hope this helps.
I'm not a person who believes in being hateful. I'm not a hateful person. But I do know that certain behaviors is causing our world, the core values of our world, to fall apart. And because of that, it is going to bring the wrath and the judgment of the Most High quicker and more forcefully than ever before. Another thing that I can't talk too much about on this channel due to YouTube and their guidelines is how the elite has come up with a way in order to infiltrate not only our homes, not only our minds, not only our churches, but also our bodies. Now, when I say that, I have to use code because we know how YouTube is. But they've been able to convince the world that they were needing something into their bodies in order to fight off a certain type of that was introduced to us in 2020. And with this, they have told everyone that with this, they would be able to cure and also to protect you from getting the virus, which we all know was not true. But we do know that in the certain things have been introduced to the body that was very foreign, like something that is actually transforming the DNA of people and actually making them sort of like an antenna for certain frequencies so that they can be controlled. In the next series, or the next chapter of this series, I will go into more detail about the demonic behavior and activity that has been prominent in today's society.
You do know we are the last generation, right? Listen to this.
The one thing I've tried to put a priority on since I left the White House was, getting some exercise in. I think that there's a good probability that my generation is, hopefully with the advances in science, either, the first generation to live forever or the last generation that's going to die.
You know people's DNA is being changed, right?
Humans are now hackable animals. The whole idea that humans have, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over. Today, we have the technology to hack human beings on a massive scale.
And who does Yuval Noah Harari hate and love to blaspheme? I'll let him tell you.
I think that fake news have been with us for thousands of years. Just think of the Bible. But that's
Think about everything he just said, even from the first clip. And I'll leave you with this. As in the days of Noah, so shall it be before the coming of the Son of Man. Now I ask you this. What was happening in the days of Noah? And why did God only save Noah and his line and the rest of the world perished? Hint, hint, DNA modification. And isn't it funny that Yuval's middle name is Noah?
What a time to be alive. The CDC unanimously has added to the vaccine schedule in the United States for children, because we all know now that children were the most at risk for COVID. I mean, they were just dying left, right, and center. Truly a tragic thing. There was nothing else that was getting them. COVID was the main thing. So we have to make sure we add this to the list. So every infant that comes out, just fucking inject them. I know they've already got about 70 up until the point they're 18, but we need another one added to this because it is the most life-threatening one. So all the heroes, give them a fucking round of applause. At the CDC, unanimously, all of them fucking voted yes. So these are the true heroes on the front line, worrying about your kids' safety. You don't know what's best for your child, obviously. These experts do. So shut your mouth and listen.
Another thing that they have brought to the forefront is the chip. Now, when you say chip, I bet you're wondering, like, what do you mean? Take a look here.
For me, I really like corn.
What do you like about corn?
It's corn! A good corn Vietnam. It has the juice. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing.
If you notice here, it is a YouTube creator who looks like she's being paid very well in order to introduce to the world the RNFA or whatever it's called, R&D chip or whatever. But if you notice here, she's able to touch different things and unlock it with her hand. This is something that we've heard about, or you may have or may not have heard about in today's society, where they are wanting to make things easier for you, quote unquote. They want to put this chip into your body in order for you to be able to unlock your car door, unlock different rooms in your house, unlock your closet, unlock all of this. But in order to do that, you have to get this chip that will be connected to a cloud per se, and that will make you a part of this system that they are trying to create.
Yes, I have an RFID chip in my hand that's used as a key to unlock basically everything in our house. Obviously, I just use my hand to get into the house. And this is the main area which we live in. As you can see, the door's locked. Guess thread. Scan it. Hey, Chip Pup. We've got these doors and functions all around the house. This one's to our bedroom. And before you say, no, you don't, I got nothing up my sleeve, guys. Like, it's my hand. And during quarantine, Mike and I made these prototypes where we chip locked our furniture. This is definitely a prototype because it's not perfect. But I can unlock my nights. I can lock my office. We've got these all around the house. And even my desk. Look at it. Why would you chippy your whole house? Because it's a proof of concept. We're a really techie and innovative family. Hey, Chip Pup. Chip Girl here. The other day I opened this chip box and showed you guys what kind of chip was in my hand. Everybody keeps asking if we're gonna get this dog chipped or if he already is chipped. Now you all know that yes, I do in fact have a chip in my hand. And so does Chip Pup. All of these are different types of chips. Even the one that was in the Dangerous Things box. Some can be used for humans and some can be used for pets. And some even look different. But the thing that they all have in common is that they can both read and write information. The thing that makes them different is the thing that can actually read them, so the technology behind it. The chip that's inside Chip Pup is read by a different reader than the one that's in my hand. However, there are some forms of technology that can actually read them both. This tool can be used to read both human and pet chips. So stay tuned because Chip Guy and I are going to do a lot of research to see how we can best incorporate this into our lives. It's Chip Girl. Girl has an RFID chip inside of her hand that unlocks things around her house. And look what just came. A new chip. This chip can also be implanted in my hand and can be used as the key to our Tesla. I could literally be like, open car, it would open. And then I could drive without a key. Right now, that's what's in my hand. It's inside a protective keychain, but look at the size difference. That's huge.
Which is connecting us to a cloud of some sort that will allow the whole world to be as one. That will mean that our money would be connected to this cloud. That means that your social score will be connected to this cloud. That means that Your health information will be connected to this cloud. Your thoughts is connected to the next person's thoughts. It's like a hive mind that they want to introduce in this world, in this society. But in order for them to do that, it has to be a way in which they can interject something into your body. Now, I just discussed how the solution to the thing that was introduced to us in 2020 came about. That has connected a lot of people to this cloud of some sort. I don't know the correct name for it, but this cloud that they're trying to create, but also the chip itself. Now we know that Elon Musk has come up with a Neuralink that you could put in your mind, and that will be able to heal you of certain elements, but also will be able to have their technology a part of your DNA, a part of your body. Now,
I don't know if your camera can see that, but there's the video. There's him speaking about it.
The G7 is launching a set of public policy principles for retail central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. Central bank digital currencies could be a digital version of money, a bit like a digital banknote that could be used alongside...
Right, so that's the guy who runs our economy in the UK. His name's the Chancellor of the Exchequer. And here is the article. Bank of England tells ministers to intervene on digital currency programming, yeah? And here's a quote from the article. This is in the Telegraph, the one he pulled up, but it was behind a paywall, so I'll just read the quote. Digital cash could be programmed to ensure it is only spent on essentials or goods which an employer or government deems to be sensible.
Holy shit.
Now, I'm going to take it one step further for you, Joe, right? So, the vaccine passport infrastructure is in place. But now we know that the vaccine doesn't stop infection or transmission, but the checkpoint Charlie exists everywhere. They bring in digital banking, central banking digital currencies. You've got a scenario now that you're checking in and out everywhere you go using vouchers that are programmed, and you can only spend where you're told you can spend them. There's another word for that, man. That's called the Chinese social credit system.
Now, this is a report coming from Business Insider. China's social credit system ranks citizens and punishes them with throttle internet speed and flight bans if the Communist Party deems them untrustworthy. As we go more in the report, the Chinese Communist Party has been constructing a moral ranking system for years that will monitor the behavior of an enormous population and rank them all based on their social credit. The social credit system, first announced in 2014, is an important component part of the socialist market economy system, their social government system, and aims them to reinforce the idea that keeping trust is glorious and breaking trust is disgraceful, according to 2015 government document. This is crazy, my people.
Social credit system. That's what it's called. And anyone who watches Black Mirror will know what I'm talking about. That's that TV show, right?
Yeah.
So what they are telling us, and when I say they, who's they? People in power. That's the head of our economy, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, second most powerful person other than the Prime Minister and maybe the Foreign Secretary in the UK, right? He's telling us, I just played it there for you. He's telling us that's what he, as the UK, the head of the G7, want to bring in for the G7. So a scenario where, like in New York at the moment, because the passport infrastructure is in place, you bring in that digital currency and you've got this total control. And if I'm speaking to you the way I'm speaking now, and my employer or government, you heard that in the quote directly, yeah, deems me as saying or doing something inappropriate, suddenly I can't actually pay to come here and speak to you anymore. My digital currency won't even pay for the ticket because it will be known that I'm coming to speak to you. Sorry, your vouchers don't allow you to purchase that ticket.
I need you people to think for a second. Is it possible that Elon's purchasing of Twitter could possibly move us closer to digital IDs? Honestly, I don't think that we can rule that idea out at the moment, especially when digital IDs are a part of the World Economic Forum's fourth industrial revolution, which falls underneath the Great Reset that I've been telling you people about for the longest. In 2008 Bloomberg article, Elon Musk was a graduate of the World Economic Forum Young Global Leaders Program, the same Elon who wants to put microchips in our brains with the Neuralink project.
Well, for version 1 of the device, it would be it basically implanted in your skull. So, but it would be flush with your skull. So you basically take out a chunk of skull, put the Neuralink device in there, You put the electrode, you'd insert the electrode threads very carefully into the brain, and then you stitch it up, and you wouldn't even know that somebody has it.
Now, this is the same young global leader that Klaus Schwab has bragged about, such as President Putin, Canada Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and many others. As we see in a 2019 World Economic Forum document on digital IDs, one of the pillars that is titled social platforms, and they just so happen to use Twitter logo. Now, isn't that a coincidence? Now, I have one very good question for Elon Musk. This new takeover of Twitter, will this advance the new digital ID system that they're trying to implant in every aspect in our life, from our social credit score, from our social media, from the way that we go to work, from the way that we travel, from the way that we do every aspect of our life? That's my question for Elon Musk.
The digital identity system, which is extremely valuable, not just for financial activities, but for health and voting and education, and that's called MOSIP. Once you have the digital money system, then there's all sorts of services and applications that can be built on top of that, whether it's helping with health or education or agriculture, giving people visibility into their financial status, giving them advice, should they take a loan, should they buy insurance, what makes sense. The phone becomes a connection for low cost interaction with those customers that doesn't require human activity.
Are you people not seeing that now that they're trying to put everything on one grid so they can control every aspect of your life?
We're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting and introduce a new one. And the new accounting is what we call blockchain. It means digital. It means having a almost perfect record of every single transaction that happens in the economy, which will give us far greater clarity over what's going on. It also raises huge dangers in terms of the balance of power between states and citizens, in my opinion.
Let's reference Executive Order 14067, the Digital Responsibility Order, which I encourage you all to read because there's a lot to unpack. But if you scroll down to, I believe it's Section 4, it discusses CBDCs, central bank digital currencies.
Biological sciences. And they are still separate, but they are about to merge. They are merging around, I would say, the biometric sensor. It's the thing, it's the gadget, it's the technology that converts biological data into digital data that can be analyzed by computers. And having the ability to really monitor people under the skin, this is the biggest game changer of all.
About the evolution of the creature becoming godlike, I think it happens with technology. And I think technology gets introduced into the human biology, and it radically accelerates our ability to think and solve problems and come up with new solutions and then invent newer and crazier innovations. The human animal has evolved from being a caveman to being a person who lives in 2022 who's totally attached to your iPhone. We're real close. We're real close, and you keep following it, it's going to go to a point where those things are going to be inside of us because they improve us. They make everything better. They're going to fix your eyesight. They're going to fix your body. People with spinal cord injuries are going to be able to walk again, and that's going to be the door. And that's going to open it up to people that are going to use it to make more money.
For sure.
Imagine if there's a thing that you could plug into your head, and all of a sudden you're 150, 250% smarter than you are. And you have instantaneous access to information on the internet, and you start making financial decisions that are like ridiculous in terms of how effective you are compared to everybody else that's doing it. You figure out how to control, and then only the people that have that technology will be able to compete.
The elite.
That's good. If you
That's
get
what's
into
scary.
if the only people that have that technology, it's like there's a window of time when that shit starts getting implemented, where people are gonna feel like, holy fuck, I'm gonna get left out.
Yeah.
Like if people become a different thing.
These are stressing me out.
If people become a different thing, if we become a thing that is connected all the time to the internet, all the time, and your brain works way better than it works now. What if it just cures depression? What if there's no more war?
What's the chip Elon's
What if there's
working
no
on, right?
more?
He's working on that chip?
That's exactly what they're going to sell to the masses of the sheep. So you can just go right on ahead and go a part of whatever system that they're transitioning over to.
This is just another part of the New World Order and bringing us closer and closer to this one world government, this one world cloud experience that they're trying to create. In order to do that, they do have to destroy the world and the infrastructure as we know it today. They are starting a new program in Chicago starting January 1st, where a lot of crimes that are being committed can go without punishment for an extended amount of time.
Did you ever want to commit murder, but you were worried about the whole getting arrested and sent to jail thing? No worries, just move to Illinois. As of January 1st, a new law will go into effect in Illinois where all of these crimes are non-detainable offenses. And non-detainable means, under this new law, after being charged with the crimes listed, those arrested would be released without bail and have a court date. So let's take a look at the crimes that Illinois feels isn't worth keeping you away from the public. Aggravated battery. So if you didn't beat him bad enough the first time, don't worry, you'll be out same day and you can go right back to work on it. Oh, and the funniest part is if you did go back out and start beating that person again, they would still have to release you same day. Aggravated DUI. Yeah, let's get those drunks back on the road. Aggravated fleeing. If you wanted to try running from the cops, no biggie. Arson. Burn it the fuck down. Because as soon as they file charges, you're right out the door. Burglary. Steal all the shit you want. You're gonna get released same day anyway. Drug-induced homicide. Do I really have to explain why we shouldn't be letting those people out? Intimidation. I mean, come on, let's be real. I'm not that worried about intimidation. Kidnapping. If you kidnap someone after you're caught, that is not reason to hold you in jail. So look, if they got away the first time, give it another go. And guess what? If you get caught kidnapping again, they have to let you go same day. Robbery. Steal all the shit you want. You're not staying in jail. We're gonna skip this one for a second. Threatening a public official. Again, that's like intimidation. Threaten them all you want. I honestly don't care. But second-degree murder. You can fucking murder someone and they don't feel that's reason enough to hold you. Not like you're a danger to society or anything. It's not like you just fucking killed somebody. But hey, for those of you who wanted the purge, move to Illinois. You got it. Oh, and I'd just like to say thank you to the state of Illinois for giving me one more reason why I will never fucking go there.
If you don't know, now you know. You better pay attention because in Chicago, starting January 1st, 2023, guess what? Second-degree murder, kidnapping, any of these things are no longer detainable. They will no longer put these people in fucking jail. They will arrest them, take them to court, book them, and let them go. Cash bond no longer exists in Chicago after January 1st, 2023. The purge is here, people. Illinois is gonna be the new crime capital of the world. You better fucking pay attention and stop calling me a conspiracy theorist.
You're able to like commit a murder and you can get a trial date, but you will be bond out without paying any money. So that is just basically destroying the world as we know it. And they're trying it out in Chicago because Chicago is very dense in the black population. So they're just trying it out there. Also, we know about the police state. Now, the police state is something that has introduced to us for a very long time. A lot of people know about martial law and they know about all the laws that Obama passed when he was in office so that martial law can be easily enacted. Trump also passed a lot of laws in order for martial law to be easily enacted, and now this is something that's becoming more and more prevalent. Now, they have been very quiet about martial law in today's time because so many people have become hip to it and know that that is a big part of what they're trying to push in order to make sure that everyone in America, everyone all around the world is subservient to the government and afraid to fight back.
find zero construct people process, which will be an additional crime.
Rifles moving in tactical armored vehicles. These aren't American troops to local police forces in America just over the past couple of years. It's part of what the ACLU, in a recent report, called the excessive militarization of American policing. Indications of that are everywhere in Ferguson. Police in these towns are getting much of this combat equipment free of charge from the Pentagon. The Defense Department says just in 2013, nearly $450 million worth of military equipment was given to law enforcement. A defense official says Ferguson police only got a couple of Humvees and a trailer. But police departments throughout Missouri, which are assisting in Ferguson, got 20 MRAPs and hundreds of M16 rifles in recent years. Critics say often when they get these weapons, policemen's attitudes only fill out a one-page form for an armored personnel carrier.
I want you guys to know that we don't have to be afraid. They may try and take control over your body, but no one can control your soul, and no one can control your salvation except you. In order to protect your soul, your salvation, if your body is compromised, you have to give your life to Yeshua, or some people may call him Christ. You have to give your life over to him. You have to believe in him. That's the only way that your soul will be saved from the damnation that this world is trying to project on his people. Another thing that you can do is that you can seek Yahuwah. Yahuwah, through his Holy Spirit, will be able to lead you and guide you and show you what you need to do in these times. These are uncertain times for us all. A lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of people don't know what the next 6 months is going to look like for them. But if you cling on to Yahuwah, even if your body is under some sort of compromise, if you seek Yahuwah, he will protect you. He will lead you. He will show you the right way to go. Stand your ground. Do not fall victim to what these people are trying to do. Your best weapon in today's time is to be knowledgeable and to have insight on what is going on. They don't want you to know what's happening, because the less you know, the more likely you will allow fear to rule over you, and the more likely that you will allow them to do what they want to do. The more that you know, the more you're able to stand your ground, the more that you are able to pray against the things that is happening in this world, the more you're able to know not to fall into certain traps that they have set up for us to fall in due to fear. You have to stand your ground. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel, listen to the podcast, like the video. Don't be afraid. Yahuwah is with us. It's so important to have the knowledge, understanding in these times. Don't be afraid. Stand firm.